is up, YouTube family? We are back at it one again. Welcome back to Quintessential Sports. And we are here to talk about the elephant in the room, like always, like every season, like for the last 30 years, that the Cowboys suck once again. And see, a lot of Cowboys fans are not are gonna, come in here and they're gonna say, well, they've had 12 win seasons and this and that, and they've been to the playoffs and this and that. You got to understand, the Cowboys are judged on majority playoff wins, what they do in the playoffs, and winning Super Bowls. And by that measure, when you haven't been to an NFC championship in how many years, and you haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years, it comes down, for their standard, it comes down to it that they suck. They have failed. You know what I'm saying? Not reaching those levels means that you haven't reached your expectations, which mean you suck. And that brings me to my biggest point with the Cowboys and their fans. I used to work in the barbershop, right, 20 years ago, actually 21 years ago. I worked there for 7 years. And the thing that I used to tell Cowboy fans was, until you humble yourselves and lower the bar, you're going to continue to have these failing seasons. And when you fail, the season sucks. The season is a failure. It's an underachievement when you don't reach those expectations, right? Or at least meet them, right? Like if you were getting back to NFC championships every year, or you were going to Super Bowl one year, if you went to an NFC championship one year and then you went to a Super Bowl the next year, and then you at least made it back to NFC championship, you can say, hey, we're on the cusp, right? We're right there. You can look at wins within those losses. But when you set the bar so high for NFC championships, and you want to at least go to the Super Bowl and then eventually win Super Bowls, and you don't even get close to any of those three things, then it's a failure. Right. So I used to tell these fans, you have to lower the bar. You have to get out of this mindset that you're going to win a Super Bowl every single season, regardless of what you've done in the acquisitions you've made in the offseason. You have to be like everybody else, and you have to have realistic expectations. Right. And for some reason, they just cannot humble themselves and lower the bar. It's the most illogical thing I've ever seen in sports. Even you look at organizations that have had supreme success, like the Celtics, the Lakers, the Yankees. After a certain amount of years of losing, they humble themselves and they say, hey, you know what? We suck. This is a rebuild year, or we're probably looking to win it. Maybe not this year, maybe in 2 or 3 years. They have realistic expectations, right? So there are seasons that they fall short or don't make the playoffs or don't go far in the playoffs. It's not a total failure of a season for them, because they've adjusted their expectations based on who they really are and what they really have. But see, Cowboy fans and the Cowboys organization hasn't done that. They say Super Bowl or bust every single year. And it's okay to have high expectations and high goals, but you have to have some kind of realism about yourself, or you just become a shit show and you become a clown show. And this is what Dallas has become. They become a clown show. They went from being the greatest show on earth to the greatest clown show, or the greatest circus on earth, because now every season they just go around making an ass of themselves. They're a shell of themselves, and they can't seem to get back to the glory years to save their lives. Now, why is this? Like I said before, when I was in the barbershop, I started playing into the psyche of the Dallas Cowboy fans. And I knew I had no magical power over what was going on with them, but I saw into the delusion of the fans, and I saw into Jerry Jones' mindset, the way that he was running the organization, and how he thought he was the end all be all the time, and just thought that he was, gonna be this, this savior. He was just trying to chase what Jimmy Johnson had done, and he just could not get there. So I started clowning them by saying that I was going to put this curse on them, and it became known as Q's Cowboy Curse. And I was just kind of trolling them. I was just kind of fucking with them, because we were holding down the barbershop in DC. So Cowboys coming up in our barbershop in DC is just, we not going for it, right? So I was clowning them. And then it went 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. And then what happened was people really started believing that there was a Cowboys curse. It was crazy. Now, I left the barbershop 13 years ago, and this Cowboy curse has been going on for 20 years. So much to the point where people think I really have a curse on them. And people have really come to me and asked me, say, hey, are you going to take the Cowboy curse off? And I'm like, nah, not yet. They still haven't humbled themselves. And I keep telling them the way to break the curse is to humble themselves, right? But in reality, what it really is Jerry Jones needs to humble himself. So let's go into this video and let's see what Michael Irvin is talking about when it comes to Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. He's an ex-Cowboy legend and has the most insight on everything that's going on. Now, let's see if he says the things that I've said, and let's see if we can find some common logic here in comparison.
Let me tell you where the sad part comes in. Where the pain rose high, I had, after seeing the Cowboys, hoped for any kind of movement on offense. We're not going to be able to stop teams with that defense. And I was looking at, okay, where can we get some help? And the help that I sought was Devontae Adams or Amari Cooper. Would the Cowboys have brought back Amari Cooper? I was hoping that things would get so bad before that trade deadline that, yeah.
I just had to stop it right there because it's bad. It's bad when you have to go back and get players you let go before. I remember when they had Amari Cooper, right? They had Amari Cooper, and then they had CeeDee Lamb on the other side, right? And I remember seeing CeeDee Lamb as more of he was a rookie, I believe, that when they were together that first year. And CeeDee Lamb was showing promise, but he was a smaller receiver than Amari. And what you would see was Amari would be that deep threat, and he would be that number one prime target, in the red zone or whatever. And he was taking the pressure off of and the attention off of CeeDee Lamb on the other side. And it was allowing CeeDee Lamb to get acclimated to the league and the speed and everything and develop the proper way. Well, once they saw CeeDee Lamb start having success and they realized that he had the potential to be a number one receiver, they got rid of Amari Cooper. And I was like, no, that's a terrible thing to do. That's a terrible thing to do because you want to have those two to take the pressure off of each other so that the safety can't shadow one of the other, can't just shadow one of them. Because as soon as you take Amari Cooper off, they're going to put all the attention just on CeeDee Lamb. Now, who are the other receivers that you're going to count on when they double CeeDee Lamb? But if you got Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, you can't double nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just pay Amari Cooper. But nah, Jerry Jones, he thought he knew better once again. And now you have Michael Irvin saying we should have got Amari Cooper back again. And the fact that they even brought Zeke back for a second time, you're basically admitting that you made a mistake when you let him go the first time. Now, the thing with Zeke is he became such a shell of himself that by the time he came back, it was much less money. But you're trying to bank on the fact that he might give you more production at a cheaper price. When in reality, you're getting him for a cheaper price because he's not gonna give you more production. He's damaged goods. And like they say, you get what you pay for, right? So I just thought that was funny, man.
Right now in this bye week, they will start having conversations. All of that got wiped out. I was already hurting from Sunday. Then I woke up this morning. I was hurt Monday morning. When I woke up Tuesday morning, I got the double hurt, knowing that those double guys were gone. And I don't know where the Dallas Cowboys turned from here. This is what scares me moving forward. Now, do I believe the Cowboys still have enough talent to make a playoff run, to get in the playoffs? Yes, I do. Do I believe it's possible? From what I saw early on and heard early on, wasn't about the talent, never was about the talent on this team. My concerns, and I tried to voice it to you guys a little bit, my concerns were that not the talent, but how united is this team. I told you I had people in Dak's camp tweeting out stuff in a negative fashion. Dak's brother, people in Michael Parsons' camp tweeting out things in a negative fashion. People in CeeDee Lamb's camp tweeting out things or social media and things in a negative fashion, even about his own quarterback. So I always say, ain't no way in the world CeeDee Lamb or anybody else who has a camp they're not knowing what people are saying in their camp. And that it makes it look like, do you guys have a problem? Are all you guys okay? The top three guys for the Dallas Cowboys, the top three guys, you're not going to have success if your top is not right. You certainly ain't going to have it right on the bottom. These are the top three guys. And there's been rumors about the way these guys are getting along. And with the families who are out here tweeting and writing and saying all the things, it just adds to it. Now,
this is just, it's hilarious to me. The dysfunction of the Dallas Cowboys is so laughable that I don't even really have to play any more of this video because I could just break everything else down. When he sits here and talks about conflict within the locker room, right? Once again, you're dealing with delusion, they are upset because they're losing, which tells you that they didn't realize that they were going to be this bad. And it's like, how did you not know you were going to be this bad? If you're dealing with reality, what made you think that the outside receiving core outside of CeeDee Lamb was going to be so thorough that you would be able to make a strong playoff run? What running back situation that they have made you believe that those two running backs were going to be beasts and take you to the playoffs? What on defense made you believe that they were going to be the real deal and these shutout guys and these monsters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got some names on defense, Parsons and Diggs and Lawrence, things like that. But when you really look at it, they are missing too many key pieces. Um, that should have told you. I mean, you could go and look at the Green Bay playoff loss. Go and look at that game and look at how and why they got blown out so bad. How do you explain that? Like they got exposed in so many different areas, and when you see all this dysfunction and them losing and bickering and family members upset, what is the source of all that? It's people are looking at them, but in reality, the source is uh, Jerry Jones. It goes back to Jerry Jones. It goes back to the top. And Jerry Jones, first of all, he didn't make the moves that would have taken their team to the next level. He just kind of sat back and just was like, yo, we're good. We're good with what we got. And everybody knew that they were not good with what they had. You know what I'm saying? Like that was so easy to see. Like I can't understand what make you think that they were good. And he's sitting back and just let Derrick Henry just go. Derrick Henry is putting all the signals and things out there to tell you that he wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy. He said it. His training facility where he trains is in Texas. Might be right there in Dallas if I'm not mistaken. But he was letting them know that he wanted to be a Cowboy. And they just didn't even call him. They just didn't even call him. How do you not call Derrick Henry? Like, that told you everything you needed to know about the Cowboy season right there. I knew when they didn't get Derrick Henry that all of this, what we're seeing right now, was going to happen. You could go back and look at my previous videos I've done on the Cowboys, and everything I said in those videos going back to last season is still true. It still holds true today. Right? Now they have a chance to get Amari Cooper and Devontae Adams, and they don't even attempt to do it. What is really going on? So what this tells you is that there's a severe level of incompetence going on with Jerry Jones. He might be senile. He might be on a Joe Biden type of, what do you call it? A dementia type of situation, a Alzheimer's type of senile type of, situation at his old age. Because this stuff is common sense, man. Like, and here the legends and the players are trying to make logic of it, and there is no logic to make of it. Y'all don't have the pieces, you don't have the talent, and it's a total shit show. Now, I predicted that the Cowboys were going to lose the next 4 games in a row. Now, they already lost the one of them, which was San Fran. I can't remember. I know they play the Falcons in Atlanta next. I think they're going to lose that game. They play, I want to say the Eagles. I think that's in Dallas, but I think the Eagles are going to beat them. They got to play the Commanders in Washington. I think they're going to lose that game. I know they play the Texans. They're going to lose. I think Dallas is going to lose the next 3-4 games. And they're like 3-4. I think they're going to be 3-7, 3-8 real quick. They might be 4-7 at best. Right? And then they get an easy one against the Giants. And then, at that point, the season's going to be over. It's going to be over real quick. This next section, this part of the schedule right here is going to make or break them. And I said, they're gonna lose majority of these games. They're gonna go like 1-3 over the next 4 games, and that's it. It's a wrap. So let's see what Michael talking about, and then we're gonna finish this up because this is easy work.
This is why I'm mentioning this. This is going to have to be a drastic change. I don't see any hope in what we have on the field right now. But the only hope the Dallas Cowboys have, I would love to hear, I don't give a damn, about a whole team meeting. Where they had a players-only team meeting over the off week. Scrap that. I don't care about that. I want to hear Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, and Marcus Lawrence. I want to hear all of them got together and spent the off time together discussing what the hell they got to do to get this right. And all
Man, these Cowboy fans and these Cowboy legends, the only one that really keeps it 100 is Troy Aikman. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Troy Aikman. I used to couldn't stand him. I hated his guts when he played, and I hated him as a commentator at first. But over the years, when he used to do games, he would be so biased in the commentating of Dallas games. But over the years, he's seen what everybody else has seen, and he can't even hide it anymore himself. So he's been able to really call them out with no regard, to where he's ruffled some feathers, with Jerry Jones and some of the players and some of the legends. But I respect him so much for keeping it real, because everything he said is 100%. And the proof is in the pudding. Now, Michael is here talking about the four best players on the team need to get together and figure this thing out. But what he doesn't realize is it's the other players that need to get it figured out, get together, spend some time together, because they just don't have the talent outside of those four. Those four can come in and make some things happen, but it's the rest of the players that are lacking. And even if they were able to get a little spark and win a couple games, at the end of the day, they just don't have the complete roster to compete with the upper echelon of the rest of the teams. I mean, this San Francisco game showed everything you needed to see. They had a bye week to get ready for San Fran, and San Fran was depleted. Like, they had so many injuries and playing with backups and third stringers, and Dallas still couldn't beat them. It was closer than it should have been, but they still couldn't beat them. So how you gonna beat all these other teams that are fully healthy? You know what I'm saying? That's why I think they're gonna lose to the Eagles now that the Eagles have Brown back. The Commanders are getting their confidence high as hell at 6-2, which by the time they play, they're gonna be like 9-3. You know what I'm saying? They playing at home. The Texans are playing good ball. CJ Stroud is a beast. Who else they got? The Falcons are playing at home. Kirk Cousins will light their whole secondary up. Oh my God, they got the running game, Robinson. Man, they playing in Atlanta. Dude, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And I'm going to tell you what the ultimate solution is. And we're going to keep revisiting this throughout the year, because I just love talking shit about the Cowboys. But most time people think it's just hating. But, these are facts. The proof is in the pudding. You're seeing everything that I've been saying for the last 20 years, right? And actually, it's worse now. Like, this might be... They've had some bad seasons over the last 20 years, but this is so bad because they're expected to do so many big things. I wasn't expecting them to do anything, but the hype around them, the media, and giving Dak all that money and CD Lamb all that money and Micah, all these big time names makes it look like they should be doing so much more, but in reality, they shouldn't be expected to do anything, right? But it's so sweet for Cowboy haters like myself because it's like, okay, keep tricking yourselves that y'all are supposed to be nice. It just looks that much more worse when you suck, when you lose these games. Now, from my perspective, I'm like, oh, y'all should have known they were going to lose these games. There's nothing to see here. It's not that shocking. But to everybody else, it's really shocking because they've had these high expectations. It's so crazy. I used to always use the analogy. I used to always say with the Cowboys, I'm like, the Cowboys are like, well, let me say it like this. If say you were a crackhead, right? And you got your shit together and you decide to go to community college and you graduate. Your family and friends and loved ones are going to celebrate you like you went to fucking Harvard because your expectations were so low that doing something as simple as graduating from community college and staying off of crack is going to be celebrated like you went to Ivy League, right? Because the bar was low. For the Cowboys, they are like that straight A student, that valedictorian that looks great coming out of high school, but then goes to college and becomes a meth head and flunks out of college and goes to jail. This is what the Cowboys are. It's the difference between overachieving and underachieving. And it's like, which one would you rather be? Would you rather be an overachiever or do you want to be an underachiever? An underachiever is the worst thing you can be. So in order to not be an underachiever, you have to lower the bar so that you can overachieve that bar, right? The Cowboys bar should have been trying to make the playoffs, trying to win a division, trying to make the playoffs. That way, right now, everything that Michael Irvin is talking about becomes valid. It's like, okay, they still got a chance to win the division. They still got a chance to make the playoffs, right? They're not out of it yet. They're not eliminated yet. Plenty of time. But we all know that their bar was set at least getting to an NFC championship and then going to the Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl. And we clearly see that they are nothing close to being a team that's going to be able to compete with Green Bay and Detroit and even the Falcons or even the Commanders or even Philly, right? So yeah, man, this is music to my ears. It's so funny to watch. I am really enjoying this moment. Like I said, I've been watching them fail for 20 years, and now they're going to be begging me. Pretty soon, Cowboy fans in this area who know the Q's Cowboy curse, they're going to really start hitting me up, and they're going to be like, yo, dude, when are you going to take the curse off? They have no idea that has nothing to do with me. It's Jerry Jones. And until y'all run him out of town, this is going to be your fate every single year. Now, I'm going to just say one last thing before I go, because we're going to come back and revisit this video and these points that I'm making, and because I'm sure I'll be repeating them over and over again all throughout the season. But the Cowboys have been failing for so long that they've let the Commanders get good again. After everything that the Commanders have been through, a shit show of an organization, the Cowboys have failed for so long that they didn't take it. They didn't take advantage of the Commanders being sorry, and now they've even let the Commanders get nicer than them. And they've been sorry for so long that the Commanders have changed. Went through all the years they went through to change the controversial name. They've changed the stadium name. They've changed the jerseys. They've changed the mascot. They've changed the song. And now they even ran their owner out of the city and got new owners in there. This is how long the Cowboys have been a failure. That the Washington team has went through nothing but scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal, quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. And now they've even gotten it right before the Cowboys have. And their future looks very bright, while Dallas is looking like the ship is sinking. So we're going to monitor it and see how the rest of this season goes. But I'm going to keep basking in the glory of Cowboys defeat. But this is definitely enjoyable, especially being a Commander supporter, being here in the nation's capital, and watching Dallas make fools of themselves for the 20th year in a row. So until next time, when the Cowboys fail once again, I'll holler at y'all 100.